Texas Republican Senator Kay Bailey Hutchison. Senator Hutchison, thanks for joining us. Your thoughts about the developments this morning?
Well, I think that we're still reading the bill, and yet we're going to be forced to vote on it within 2 days the first time. It's ridiculous that we would have this kind of process on something that affects every person in America's quality of life. It will affect the small businesses that are going to have taxes and mandates, and of course it's going to cut Medicare, cut Medicaid reimbursements to hospitals, which is going to put them in a tough position. There is just an amazing amount in this bill that is wrong, and yet we can't get the Democrats to stop and say, wait a minute, let's start over and fix health care reform. But this is not the bill that would do that.
Well, Senator, the question that I have is, how are Republicans going to handle it going forward? I mean, they can say, all right, well, they've got the 60 votes, so it's, let them go ahead and have their vote, or they can drag their feet and sort of go slow and push this thing out to the nth degree. Which procedure will you follow? Well,
I certainly think we need to push it to the nth degree so that people know what's in it, because there still might be hope that when people know what is in this bill, how much it's going to cost, how much it's going to drive up the price of health care coverage, and what it's going to do to small businesses and Medicare recipients, that perhaps we could get one person who would say, wait a minute, let's don't do this. This is not right.
Well, Senator, on that point, some have criticized you for rolling over and letting the defense bill go through. They said they wanted to drag that out a little longer, and you sort of broke ranks on that, did you not?
Not at all, not at all. They had the 60 votes before I came and voted. They had their votes. I would never have done that, and I didn't do it, and those who are criticizing just are not saying the facts.
Well, I'd like to mention that some of those who are criticizing you are running against you for the office of Texas governor, are they not?
What a surprise. Yes, that's of course correct. When the votes were already there, the 60 were there, of course, then why would you walk away from having the support for the troops? Because the votes were there, the bill was going to pass, and of course 88 people voted for it. But had there not been 60 votes, and we could have made this health care bill go over into next year, then we would have certainly done the continuing resolution for the troops. But by the time I got to the floor, they had the 60 votes.
Let me ask you another question about health care reform, and that is we're not even close to final passage here. This has to be reconciled with the House bill. It comes back in a different form. This thing could still fall apart in about 5 or 6 different ways, could it not?
Absolutely, Brian, because for one thing, the abortion language is egregious. It would be the first time since 1977 that there would be federal funding for elective abortions. So that is going to make a huge difference in the House, where they had a very bipartisan vote to protect the Hyde Amendment that would stop any federal funding of abortions and change the bipartisan law of this country since 1977. So that's one thing. And then you've got the increase in Medicaid, which is going to cost states hundreds of billions of dollars, which I don't know how they're going to come up with that. Every state is struggling right now, including Texas, and we would be hit very hard with the Medicaid expansion.
Right.
You've got the cut to Medicare patients, and I think the Medicare patients and seniors are going to rise up. So you've got so much in this bill that I think we still do have a chance.
Right.
If we go through conference and it comes out this way. Even Ben Nelson, who was the 60th vote, said he would not vote for it if some of these things were changed.
Senator Kay Bailey Hutchison, Republican from Texas, as I mentioned, also running for governor in the state of Texas. It is good to have you with us on this snowy Saturday. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Brian. Thank you.
Let's look at what